One of my mentors and I just recently had the discussion. You're going to be like, oh, what does that mean? But it's not a bad thing. That my ADHD, my neurodivergence is the least interesting thing about me. And I've been leading with that for a really long time because I've finally had an identity, right?
Yes, yes.
Now I'm not as much needing to lead into that as an identity as, hey, this is where I was. This is where I am now. This is actually the least interesting thing about me. But you know what's the most interesting thing about me is I can help your ADHD-esque brain understand your business in a way others can't.
Exactly.
That is a different perspective of I'm ADHD. Everything's ADHD. It's all ADHD all the time. Like we go through that at the beginning. It's natural and we need to do it. And like we have these different parts of acceptance and understanding.
Like phases. It's almost like the stages of grief, but it's like a different kind of thing.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to put it. I like that.
It is very much that. And when you're getting into the point where you're like, okay, this is what's going on.
Yes.
I understand way more about myself. I'm seeing patterns. I'm able to move through things better.
Yes.
Like you get to a point where you don't feel like you're like seeing it everywhere, you know?
Yes. Well, because we have reticular activation, right?
Yes.
Like if you buy a white car, you see white cars everywhere. So you find out you have ADHD or neurodivergence. Guess what you're seeing everywhere?
Yes.
Well, one, it's the algorithm. I have mine set to that. Like I have.
But it's also, I see it in my life.
Yes.
And like, it's an
not even on
thing.
the computer. Right.
No.
And it's funny because like, I have my necklace. It says ADHD AF, right? And I wear this in public for a reason. Because people will be like, oh, you too? Like, I run a successful business.
Yeah.
I just want to be a reminder in the world that none of it means anything until you give it something. It doesn't mean anything bad about you unless you make it bad about you. And if you want to look for the upsides, they're there. And if you want to support the hard parts, you can. And I think we have to get through all of those things. And I didn't realize when you first came to me that you were new or diagnosed or at least suspecting. I didn't know that.
It wasn't like new,
right?
But it was, I was just had the brain space at that point to be like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
Because before that, it was, I was drinking the Kool-Aid of, the guru Instagram people, look at my private plane, and being like, why can't I do this? You mean
what it actually really means to run a business?
Yes. But I would get on calls with these people and they would give me space to like lead part of the calls. And I was like, ooh, and my dopamine was just like, yes, this is amazing. And then I get off the call and be like, oh, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And,
But because it didn't belong to you.
Exactly. But I can do it and I love it and I love helping people. And I was like, okay, how do I take whatever that was?
Yes.
And make it something?
Yes.
And while I was figuring that out and I got the late diagnosis, I had a personal situation that ended up with a lot of like grief for myself. And then I had a client fuck me over after 2.5 years. And so by the time I came to you, I was like, so this is what's going on.
Right.
It was like, it was all of the stuff at once.
Right. And I didn't know that. Which gives it, because seeing you now and talking to you now is like, you're a different human, but
I know
this is part of the evolution of getting the diagnosis, because words are hard. What doesn't get talked about is the fact that we can go through regression.
Yeah.
Things that were easy for us for our whole lives all of a sudden feel fucking impossible. Well, your mask is gone and now you can't hold it up anymore.
Yeah.
And then you try to go undo that and you're like, I can't undo it. My coping mechanisms don't work. What the fuck do I do now? And then you start seeing people around you doing, and you're like, okay, they're figuring out something. And you start taking cues from others around you who may be neurodivergent, or you can tell are coded neurodivergent, right?
Yes.
And then you start, and then we start realizing who actually wants good for us and who doesn't. And we start seeing more of the way to market to the masses as opposed to marketing a little more to our kind of people. Like, that's why I have that post that says I have the word fuck in my business plan. I'm not joking. If anyone wants to see my business plan, I have it. You can see it. It's got the word in there. Why? Because instead of attracting and repelling with an opinion, I'm attracting and repelling with the way I actually speak.
Yeah.
It's way easier to do it that way, by the way.
It's so much easier. Well, and I think I told you this when I kind of came back online, if you will, at the beginning of this year. You know, when we talk about, like we were talking about, we need proof. We need affirmations. We need to understand ourselves. And I did a huge chunk of that. I had to end a 20-year friendship, and I didn't think I was going to have to.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize how I was masking. Like, you just, and it's so frustrating.
You don't,
like, you don't even know. And they're like, I unmasked. What does that mean? I can't tell you. I wish I could tell you. It is a different process for everyone. And for me, I was like, oh, I stopped. I didn't even realize I was a people pleaser. Hello.
It's the fawning. Yeah. The fawning response.
And I've always been an opinionated person, but how often was I not saying it?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And, or, you know, that whole saying, no is a full sentence.
Yeah. Which part don't you understand? The N or the O?
Yeah. Understand that logically, to internalize that and just be like, you know, I don't want to do that. Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't want to. I don't need to give you a reason.
Yeah.
Why are you busy? What doesn't matter. I'm busy. Like I started to be like, why have I been
over informing people of every move in my life when it's none? Yeah. Yeah.
To justify in my mind so that they like soften the blow for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all just a part of the process.
Right.
You know? And
and it's just that. It is a process.
It's such a process. There's no like end point. I still find moments where I'm like, they haven't talked to me since X time. So they're a little like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But it's interesting you say that because by, I want to say October, November of last year, I was like, I feel the most me I've ever been. And I feel like a completely different person sometimes.
Yeah.
In the best way. But I'm like,
in the best way for ourselves.
Yes, not for other people.
But definitely not for everybody around us.
No.
There are some people who just adapt and they're like, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's others who are like, wait, what does this mean to me?
Yes. Or
they
take
it mean
offense
to them?
And they make it mean I've changed. And I have, but they make it mean we can't do the same things because I'm not willing to show up the same way that I was when I was masking.
Right. That's a hard one to accept.
It is. It was a long, drawn out process. Mm-hmm. But then I saw a post for someone looking for a strategic operational lead. And I was like, hello, you made it for me. And I applied to it. And like some other applications, you know, they want a story and then they want a video of you talking about a story. And it's like, okay. And all of them are like, keep it at 5, at most 10 minutes. It's like, okay.
You're like, I'll do my best.
I'll do my best. I sent in a video. It was probably almost 20 minutes, but it was a really fucking good and important story about what I've done. And I did not try to mask at all in that process. And at all. Like even when I got on the call with her and then we had to do a test project again, they give you like, you know, but they want to see how you're thinking.
Yes.
And I don't pretend that even how I view certain operational things is going to be the same as everybody else. I know it's not.
Right.
And so they have me do like a test thing of like launching and, you know, planning everything out. I was like, okay, you want a video. You say you want it 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. That's not going to happen. And I was just like, I don't know how else to start this, but to walk you through how my brain works and why I did it this way. 26-minute video.
Right.
And she emailed me like not even a week later. She's like, I've interviewed a lot of people, but I just keep coming back to you. And I was like, I know, disagree. No.
But I was like, awesome was it to know you could say that and you meant
it. Yes, exactly. And
it's different.
Those first couple months, it was uncomfortable. Yeah. But I was like, okay, because I recognized there are times you want to overcompensate and over-explain. That's just part of it. Because we've all felt so misunderstood that it's like, let me give you everything so you understand everything.
That's why content feels so hard sometimes.
Yes.
But yes.
But we would be doing things and we were, you know, working to redesign her operation so she could step out.
Yeah.
And that is a process. And it is not a short process.
That's an emotional process for the owner.
Oh my God. Oh, It is such. So I finally I was talking to my business friend, Emily, and I was like, I don't know how to explain it, but like when I'm looking at the system or when we're having these meetings, it's like there's all these pieces and, I feel so tired. And she's like, that's because your brain is literally doing 3 jobs at once when you're on these meetings. It's like, oh yeah.
Yes.
And so I finally started to be like, just so you know, when I'm talking about this and it doesn't really apply here, but it's going to be the future thing, that's because part of my brain is, what do we have to do to keep things moving right now? Part of my brain is, where does this go next? What do we need to do and document for the next piece? And here's what could happen in the future. And I was like, so these 3 things are just working in my brain all the time.
Yes.
And I never would have admitted that prior, but I was like, this is what's actually happening.
Right.
And so, just so you understand and what's going on. And those first couple of months, she was like, I just really appreciate having your brain in my business. And I was like, thank you. That was probably the best compliment anyone could have given me.
It really is, because she saw you.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't you performing. It was you being you and showing how your brain worked, and that being a unique advantage in her business.
And I think when we were talking about like the proof versus affirmation, I had unmasked, but I needed some proof that, of course, that wasn't going to be the end to my business.
Right.
And so it's not, I think people talk about external validation and it being a bad thing. And I was like, listen, sometimes I need it because I know, great idea, I'm great at what I do, but I need a proof point to look back on.
Yeah, there's a term for that in business. You know what it's called? Proof of concept. It's an actual thing.
Yes, it is.
So you're not just looking for proof because of something going on with you. It's actually smart business. But until we get it, we doubt everything about it.
Yes. And even now, I'm like, I was talking to a coach last week and, she's like, there's no magical piece of content that's going to like book you people. And I was like, well, duh. Like, I was like, you don't need to, like, I was like, I need to know that the actions I'm doing, the culmination of them, all of the things is leading to and will lead to a booking. It doesn't have to be a huge offer. It doesn't have to be anything. I need proof of concept that all of this and how I'm showing up and what I'm talking about is working.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a whole shit ton of clients. I need that one to be like, yeah.
You need what a mentor of mine used to call the signs of the avalanche, baby.
Yes.
You need the flurry. Ooh,
yes.
There's a flurry.
Yes.
Ooh, there's another flurry. Okay. It's the avalanche.
Yeah. I think people can misinterpret that when you're looking for support or whatever, because you're like, and
that's why it's important to have business friends you aren't paying.
Yes.
And who aren't paying you. When we find each other, the ones of us who aren't in each other's offers, who aren't trying to get something from each other, when we just have conversations, whoever those people may be in our universe.
Yeah.
If anybody's listening and you don't have one of those, fucking make it a priority.
Yes.
Because we need somebody to tell us things that don't have skin in our game. They're just telling us because they fucking like us as people.
Yes. Yeah. It's magical. It is. And
I know you had a friend like that, right?
Yeah, I do. And I actually just met with her this morning because I was like, listen, we just did a 4.5-hour strategy session for you to revamp your program. And, I was your second brain for that. I need a 2-hour content one with you because my brain is doing the thing. And I need someone to just be like, here's what you just said. And here's how you could use it.
That's exactly right.
And I've now learned better too. I'm in a all in all year with Jenny and Meredith. And they do these calls every month and they have a process that they've licensed. And part of it is learning to ask specifically what you want, which is a skill. It's not easy. Be like, I need X. Because it feels like you're setting yourself up for someone to be like, no, I can't do that.
Right.
And you are sometimes.
Right.
But when you have a friend like who gets your brain, who's in the business with you, in a business, we have skin in the game in that we're friends. I want her to succeed. She wants me to succeed.
That's the skin in the game.
Yes.
It's just, I want you to fucking win.
Yes. For no other reason than I want you to win.
Don't expect that person to be your coach, because your coach and your business friend are different, a coach, mentor. I'm not saying we don't have clients who become friends or friends who become, I'm not saying that any of that. But what I am saying is, if you are going to be in business for the long haul, you have got to have friends you're not paying.
Yeah.
And aren't paying you.
And you can go through cycles, because I helped this friend with her launch last year. But it was like actual, like in her business, emails, that kind of stuff. Right. And I migrated some tech for her. Like she paid me for that. I would pay her if I was going to join her whole program.
Right.
But it's not the expectation, because we both have had the conversation. We prioritize our friendship first.
Yes. I have that person too.
Yes.
And it takes time to get there with that person, but we have to allow it to happen too. Cause like my best friend, my business friend, my behind the scenes maven, Brooke, she will tell you that I had to like trick her into being my friend, because she kept thinking I wanted something from her, and I literally didn't. I just thought she was kind of cool and had pink hair, which I wish I could have, but I can't, because my hair will fall out if I try to dye it pink.
Right.
So there was like some envy, not in a bad way. Like, ooh, she gets a pink hair, I can live vicariously. No business in mind, but in her mind, it was like, what does she want? Because in business, it's always, what do you want? What do you want? Well,
transactional.
Yes. For me, the transaction is, are you a person I want to get to know? Are you a person whose business is I'm going to help? Are you a person I'm networking or putting onto my trusted referral list? Because I also want my clients having people that they can talk to that I know do a good job, and then they get to make their own decision and maybe can talk to one or more other people. You know what I'm saying? But those things matter. If you want a long-term business.
They do, because like even people in your life who get it as much as anyone can, there's just something different, and I love that I can it's ironic, her name's Emily.
That's hilarious. The two Emilys.
That we can like Vox each other or Marco each other, and we can talk about whatever's going on, or this conversation doesn't have to be anything. It could just literally, we go to coffee. I swear to God, in those 3 hours, we solve so many of our problems. And we gossip, and we talk about our family, and we talk about what we're doing. And that's also the beauty of having someone who has a similar brain.
Correct.
Like the circles that we talk as neurodivergents, they make sense. And
it makes sense to you, and it makes sense to us. It doesn't have to make sense to other people. It just has to make sense to us. Yes.
But it's the best part, that you don't have to censor yourself. It doesn't have to be
exactly.
Yeah. What are you doing this weekend?
Yeah.
And I could ask that and just be like, oh my God, did you see X? Oh my gosh. And I have all these thoughts, and then, and I can just be like, I had this random idea. So what are you doing for dinner? Like, just like, I don't have to censor myself.
It doesn't phase. Yeah. The zigging, zagging, and all the way that the Ferrari brain without, with bicycle brake pads, you don't have to worry about the going. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you're going to hear on a podcast episode when I do. That's exactly what you're going to hear that in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I think what's, to your point, is important is to, I think I got to this point, and I don't know if you're there, but it does make a difference when I'm thinking about hiring someone.
Yes.
In any capacity in my business.
Yes.
It's not a prerequisite that I'm like, did you get your diagnosis? And I'm not like, I don't have like a checklist. But either they are neurospicy or they're spicy adjacent, as like I say, because they're like, I don't need that diagnosis, but I really get these people. Like I was back in the day.
Yeah, self-identified or
vibing with us, whatever. Is that how you say it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or vibing. Yep.
And it's just like, because it makes a difference. I met with a coach last week who I had met with last summer when I was in the process of unmasking, but not fully.
Right.
The difference I felt was so strong. Like I got off the call this week and I was like, oh, and it's because I was completely myself now. And I was like, this is not a fit. But now I wouldn't have known that last time. I would have just been like, right. I can make this work.
Yeah.
And it's
because we think we have to bend.
Yep.
We think that, we like this coach, and then we speak to them, and then they don't quite meet what we thought they did. And then it's not quite a fit for us. And then we're like disappointed. Oh, well, I can make this work. Trust me. I spent a lot of thousands of dollars on those people, on those moments.
Same.
And
Same.
you don't need to do that because there's more than enough and you can find your people. And like, I don't know how much you know about human design in any of this too, but my human design, I am supposed to let like the emotional waves ride.
Yep.
So I also know that sometimes I need just to close the laptop and have some sleep and do literally let my brain decompress and do nothing and just open the laptop up the next day. As long as I don't have anything client related, I will just literally close the fucking laptop because nothing, nobody's losing a limb. I'm not an emergency surgeon here, right? Nothing can, there's nothing that can't wait a day. Literally nothing. So once I took away, like we love that urgency, but we also can't live in that chronic urgency.
No.
And we have to get to that point too, because we definitely are going to do everything and bend over backward for our clients until we realize the kind of people we want to work with. And then those are the only people that we want to do that with.
And then I think you get really good at what you get easier at saying, this is not what I'm willing to do.
Correct.
Like,
you know what you,
you used to kind of like maybe wobble or be like, well, I could like bend here. And I think as you get through some of this process and you learn to trust yourself more, you're like, no.
Yes.
Full stop. No, I don't do X.
And you don't give a reason for it. The other thing is like if somebody asks you a price for something, you don't go, my price is this and includes this, this, and this. For me, I say, here it is. And I literally stop talking.
Yeah. It's the strongest thing you can do in that instance too.
Well, because they need to think yes or no. They need to maybe just stop for a moment and process the information. They may be thinking if they're going to move the money from one account to another. They may be thinking it's a full body no, and they don't know how to tell you. You literally don't know what they're thinking. So when you assume it,
guess what? They got an ass out of you and me.
Yes, it's like literally we want to fill in the white space, but the best thing we can do is bite the inside of our lip and let them talk first.
Yeah. I learned early on in my business, like not to assume people understood things I understood.
Correct.
That come natural to me. Specifically when I was like dealing with like tech and all that stuff, I was like, okay, so some people don't understand this. That's fine.
Right.
But I can't assume that because that makes helping people really frustrating because they're like, what the fuck is she talking about? I'm like, why don't you get this?
Yes.
It's,
yes.
And it's
why it's why colors have hex codes. We want the exact same thing to match up so we know exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly. And I think that assumption piece starts to become more obvious that sometimes you're assuming people understand something.
Right.
Because you understand it.
Right.
Or because you think you're being really explicitly clear about something and you might not be. And so I think in general, I'm like, I'm not trying to assume someone has knowledge that I would think is common sense or something.
Yep.
Because we're all different.
Yes.
And
for sure.
And I try to be someone who assumes good intentions, but I also assume I'm the one who's going to look out for me and my interests.
Correct.
And I'm the one who needs to know for myself, what accommodations do I need? What is going to make this work for my brain? Do I need to ask for something? Do I need to tell them something? But I'm not going to assume they're going to ask.
That was what I meant by talking about nuance and making sure you have your business set up for the way you work, because it's not other people's responsibility to do that.
No.
And it is for us, ours.
Yes.
It's ours.
And I think what I love though is I can help you figure that out.
Correct.
Because I think sometimes depending on how your brain works, I am a verbal processor. Things click that were kind of just sitting around in my brain when I process out loud. And it can be with myself on a recording, but it can also really help when I have someone to bounce it off with or who can ask questions.
Yes.
And so I think it's, you need to understand that about yourself and you need to understand how your business works for you and have that understanding. But there's nothing wrong with needing help to figure that out, I think.
Right.
Because like you said, when we're all baby diagnosed, like we're kind of like, what the fuck is that?
Yes. You don't know what you don't know.
No.
You don't know what you do know. You think everything about, like so many parts of your life that you thought made sense all of a sudden don't, but they will again. Like there's just little things that that we go through at the very beginning. Now, I personally had a gamut of emotions. Every other person I've talked to, like myself, has, except for one. I've literally had one person say they didn't have any other emotion besides relief.
Interesting.
One. So that was crazy to me. So, and I've talked to hundreds, probably at this point, thousands. And if you're talking about people who've listened to the podcast, let's just say one episode, you know, it's like, so one has ever told me that all they felt was relief.
Absolutely. And I think we all, like you're saying, I felt quite a gamut.
Yeah.
You know, because first it was the ADHD, and then I had to process some new emotions on getting the combo plate.
The combo platter.
Yeah, the combo platter. And it's been in also navigating, because I think I even went into it being like, oh, that just means I have pieces of both.
Right.
No. It means there are literally two pieces of my brain that are at times in opposition of each other.
Yes.
And my autistic side is like, I need to know all of the pieces and I need it laid out clearly. My ADHD brain's like, wee, let's just go. You know,
it's like on the back of a cart rolling through the park. Like,
you know, and it takes time to process because like, you know, I
relate. Oh my God.
Right?
Yes.
And like, I think what's hard to sometimes I even get like, oh, I want to put the cat in the bag. I want to put the cat back in the bag. I don't know why that's the same, because I now just visualize that and I can't do it now. But, you know, I don't like the Jack back in the box or something. I don't know. Like,
let's go with the Jack back in the box.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Like I can't do that. Yeah. And sometimes I want to, even for myself.
Yes.
Because when I'm at capacity, when I'm trying a bunch of new things and I'm doing new things, my other capacity
goes down
in my life goes down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, comfort show.
Yeah.
Same meal.
Yeah.
And please don't touch my stuff when you're in my apartment, because it's making me like,
it's making my brain itch.
Yeah.
And someone's like, what do you mean your brain itches? If you don't understand, forget you. It's okay. You don't need to.
Or like you're making my back crawl, like my skin. I'm like, I was like, don't touch it.
Yeah.
And God bless my mom. She's just like, you know, it'd be good if you moved this here. It's like, don't touch it. Don't touch
like,
it.
leave it where I put it. I don't want you to touch it.
Yes.
That is my pile.
Yeah. My pile.
My pile.
I have a system down. Don't touch it.
Yeah. I have a system in my brain.
You know, and I think I look back, I remember when I was moving to Arizona and my cousin and my mom were helping me unpack, and they came to this thing I had at the time kept on my desk, and it was like pins, and then in a little compartment with some Band-Aids, and then a makeup brush, right? And because this was little compartment things that like sits on your desk.
Yes.
And I was like, whatever. And my cousin was like, what the hell is this? Why are Band-Aids and makeup brushes and pins together? I was like,
because it makes sense to you.
I was like, I don't understand the question.
You're like, I'm sorry, it does not compute. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And she's like, that's a really weird combo. And I was like, I don't think so. I think it makes a lot of sense.
You're like, no, it makes a lot of sense for where I'm sitting and how often I peel my nails and get bleeding. So I need a Band-Aid.
If I get a paper cut, you know, and
that makes sense.
Makeup brushes stand up tall, just like pins. I was like, I don't understand. You know, like my brain was like, this makes total sense.
Well, and it's interesting that somebody would ask why something is like that didn't make sense to them in your house. It's interesting.
Well, she was she's an organization person. So, you know, like one of those people with the real, right. One of those people with like the aesthetic, like everything labeled.
Like you said, context. I need context.
Yes, right? I was like, and you know, we're so close. So I was like, it was kind of like, you know, but to me, I remember like going to bed that night being like, what is weird about it? I don't
understand. Stays with you and you're like, why do I care that mattered to me? Well, it's just how our brains are.
It's our brains latch on, because like you had that statistic you referenced about the 20,000 extra negative things. I've heard, and I don't know off the top of my head where I read this, but autistics take in 42% more information. I was like, one, how do you measure that? I have questions.
Well, actually, I know what you're talking about, and that's not. There was one study with like a couple. It's not a back.
Yeah.
It's not a science back.
Okay. See?
I saw that on a big.
Too.
That's the thing too, is that people are sharing information about these things and not making 100% sure that what they're regurgitating is based in something factual. So like if somebody says something about a study, I actually go look for the study. I'm that weirdo. But I know actually which stat you're talking about. I think I even know which creator, and their information was inaccurate. It was based on a obscure signature fact, like, like a biblia, footnote. Yes, it was a footnote fact. It had something to do with like 5 people. I'm not accurate on what I'm telling you right now, but it was an obscurity. It wasn't a fact. It was a little tiny thing that somebody decided to pluck out and say, this means something.
Yes. And I don't doubt that we might take in different information.
We process fast.
We do.
Fast.
Like I remember being like young, preteen maybe. And we would visit my family who lived in Arizona, my mom's side. And we came back from doing a visit, and I was like, man, that was really like a lot. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I don't know how to describe it. But like when I'm in that room, I'm not just talking to you, but I'm seeing what's going over there with my aunt and uncle. And then I'm seeing this like really weird thing happen here. And then there's this noise, and it's like, it's a lot. And, it's weird. And she's like, at the time.
None of that. I don't know what that means, but okay. Yeah. No, I get you. I get you.
And so I do think that's why we have the sensory things, I feel like, because we're taking in different information.
I think because we can hyper focus or we can't shut it off. That's my assumption, is that we can either take all that shit and laser point it at something, or we have to hear it all.
Yes.
And so when we finally can get it laser focused and somebody comes in and interrupts us, I think that
smack them.
These are all guesses. There's no science backing.
There's no science.
It's just how this feels. It's how it feels.
It is what it feels like.
Yeah.
And there are times where I felt the duel, where I was like focused on someone's conversation, which you feel like you're somewhat hyper-focused, not completely, but you're focused in on them. And I was like, but I'm also intaking everything else. And so by the time I get, nighttime at that, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted.
Yes.
And I didn't even do anything.
We wonder why we're physically tired from mental work. But if you think about labor, in women, before we actually feel it, there's stuff our body's doing before we feel it.
Yeah.
That is exhausting.
Yeah.
Our brains can do the same. They're part of our body.
So, yes.
As much as we call it our brain, like it's a separate entity.
No. It's really interesting. And I think it all can be, like you're talking about, you can look at the positives, like you can choose to focus and amplify the positives.
Right.
And build support for things that are hard for you.
Yep.
If you're privileged enough to be in that space.
Yep.
But I think I don't mind when people are like, it's a superpower, because I was like, in a way, we're accessing things that I don't think everyone is.
Right.
And that can lead to really unique things. But I think it's okay to struggle sometimes with it and be like, I would just like to be able to go to the grocery store and not have to think, how many people are there? Is it going to be bright? How long do I have to do? Should I do it? Sometimes that would be nice.
Yes. I wish it didn't take me 7 to 10 business days to put my clothes away. And sometimes not even that. It's like I'm right back to the laundry pile.
Sometimes they just
stay in the give me your business and I can show you where you're getting in your own way and how to get the fuck out of it.
Yes.
So
and I can
I'm fine with I'm fine with the things that are a struggle, because the things that are rad are super rad. And it was funny because there's a great documentary I love, and it talks about Andre 3000 is in there, and he talks about his ADHD is a super skill set. And I liked that better than superpower, because I
like that.
I don't know why I have a complicated time with the word superpower, because at the beginning of this podcast, if you listen to the first episode or two, I talk about superpowers, about being Wonder Woman as opposed to Superwoman, how we're the everyday woman, but we have these things, right? And I think that's more of what it turned into. But I don't know why I have a complicated, because superpower can feel condescending to the parts that are hard. And superpower can feel like I'm better than you and I'm not on a pedestal either.
It also can, I think for me, some of my complicated feelings around it is it does feel like it just ignores the struggles of it.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
And I feel like it bypasses that. I like the skill set thing because it is, how do you harness that? And that is something you have to learn about yourself and how that works for you. And specifically in business, what does that look like? What parts are tough for you that we can put something in place to take some of that load off?
Right.
That is a skill you build. That is not something that you're just like, this is what I'm amazing at.
Yeah.
And that's
just like self-trust. It's a skill. These are skills because these are skills we weren't taught because we didn't understand we had to trust ourselves. No, we thought we just had to trust everybody else and forget anything we were thinking or feeling or believed about life.
Yes, because we were a lot of us who have a combo plate, we're also looking for cues as far as like what's supposed to happen here.
Yes.
Like, and I'm sure so many of us as kids were like, I just felt different. I couldn't describe to you why I felt different. I just knew I was not of these people.
Correct.
Yes. And when you're constantly looking outside yourself to understand how to act because you know you're different, I think that amplifies. And then you have external people being like, you're too much. You're making too much of this. You're too sensitive. Or, you bring up something that's wrong in the business or an organization and they're like, it's fine. You're just making, make you feel like you're making a big deal of it. And you start to, it just erodes at all of that.
That's the thing about the self-trust is that it's rebuilding erosion that has happened over a lifetime. But also think about how badass we are.
I know, right? Like,
okay, let's talk about that side for a second.
Sure.
We have these things that we did not know. Like a little box in our body somewhere that we didn't know what was in there, but we're like, something's in there. I'm not sure what it is, but it's different than it's like, did you remember the part of Sesame Street that's like, one of these things is not like the others? And I always wanted to be the one of these things that wasn't like the others.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be like the others. Yeah. I'm the one of these things that's not like the others. Yep. And I remembered liking that. And so it's even little things that you think, but such a trip.
It is such a trip. And but day to day, I think, in your business, when you start to see the whole picture for yourself as much as you can yourself, you're also like, oh, I really do this shit really good. Yes. And now it's developing the skill I need to help other people see that or get it, whatever. It's whatever you need the help with. But I finally understood more because I didn't have words to describe it. And then I saw someone post on Facebook. She was an autistic researcher. And she was like, the dual cognition that we can have. And I was like, oh my God, somebody described it, which is at the same time I'm seeing the big picture, I see the details and I see it in the same moment. And I was because people would be like, you're either a big picture person or a details person. It's like, no. I'm all of it, but also what could change and what could be different and what you could do and how that would change that and how, I was like, no, that's not how that works. And
you can see how to take it apart, make it work better and reassemble it.
Exactly.
Without needing to do any of it.
Exactly. I literally, someone could brain dump on me and I'm like, okay, cool. I've picked apart these things. Here's the picture. Here's what you said.
I'm laughing because that's my deep dive is exactly what I do. My form is actually called the brain dump.
Yes. And I love that because that's what I say too. I'm like, literally bring me what is ever fucking loudest in your brain.
I said, tell me what's TMI. What's TMI for me? It's not. Tell me. Give me all of it.
And if you need to do a voice note, here's that. And you can go do it because I know for a lot of us, I just need to talk. I'm just going to go bleh, and they're not going to make sense. And I'm going to be like, thank you. I now understand everything about you.
Yes, exactly.
And so that's exactly what I do with my strategy calls. And that's what makes me a good second brain is you can come and give me a brain dump. And I've already made sense with the 3 things you told me last week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And So
yes,
that's
and that's
pretty
why,
awesome.
And that's why I stopped calling myself so much as a coach and started calling myself more of a strategist, because when I started looking at what I'm doing, I'm taking the whole as a consultant, really.
Yeah.
And taking a look at the whole and going, okay, how does this all fit together? Yeah. They don't see that this, and that all go together. And then when I show them and they're like, oh my God, that's been the missing link the whole time. You know what I mean? You've had those senses, those conversations. Oh my gosh. They're beautiful.
That is my favorite moment. I was talking about this with someone else. I was like, they were talking about a favorite moment they have with clients. I was like, my favorite moment is literally someone will come to me, my friend at the VIP day, she was talking and she's like, I have this idea of how I want to revamp it and this, and this. And I was like, cool. This question, this piece. And then like hour into it, she's like, oh my God. And I was that moment when whatever was swirling around your head, like clicks and it makes sense and that light bulb goes off. That is the moment I love to give people.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. When they see themselves clearly for the first time in a way that nobody else has presented to them. And for me, and they get it. They get that their expertise is the thing they should be paid the most for. The thing they think everybody knows is the thing you should be getting paid for the most for. We think because it's easy to us, we should get paid the least for it. And it is
doesn't everybody do this?
Fucking opposite. No.
Yeah, right.
But that's the thing. We think they do, and then we don't. We just assume that, and then when we realize they don't, it's like, well, you should have hired me before I raised my prices.
Yes. Well, and I think I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I understand that about myself. Here's what I think I want to do with it.
Right.
Now I got to go talk to people about it and, proof of concept like you're talking about. But I think it doesn't automatically mean you're all of a sudden know how to talk about it to someone.
Sure.
Because I still think there's a little bit of that. How do I describe what I do so naturally?
Right.
And then we run into, I was reading an article about the expertise paradox. At some point, your brain has to make room. And so it combines what you do, the process of everything you do, and it kind of, for lack of better terms,
compression.
I'm like
like a computer compression.
Yeah, it can puts it in a zip file.
Sure.
Or I like to think of it like an automation, And so, but what happens when that happens is you can no longer consciously access what that process is.
That's fascinating.
Right?
That's really interesting. That makes a lot of sense.
It does, right?
Which is why I think the podcast is so good for you.
Yeah.
Because if you bring people on and you're doing something with them in real time and people are literally getting to see it in real time, and then you can also take pieces from your podcast and make them content so people can literally hear you speaking the way you speak on a client call. Oh, it's just... Yes.
Yeah. I have to give props to my business friend, Emily. She's like, I think this is good for you. You know what you should do? She's like, you should have live strategy sessions because once people experience the magic, they're going to want in.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, and she's like, then you don't have to worry about describing it. And I was like, right. Oh.
What's another? Well, and that's why I think I recorded a podcast episode with Dr. Regina and another podcast episode with another client of mine because I wanted them to hear it from the other perspective, but I didn't know prep for it. So I had no clue what they were going to say. I only knew my side of things, how they hired me, why they hired me, what the process was. But I wanted to walk people through what it looked like when they hired me and experience the deep dive, because that's the entry point into my world. So putting that in a podcast episode, if somebody wants to understand, I can be like, hey, go listen to this episode. Yes. This client is ADHD. Go listen to this episode. This client is ADHD. Like I have one of each, right? Yeah. And so they can at least get an idea of what that is like, not from my mouth.
Yes.
And
which takes pressure off me too.
Huge.
Yes. Because you're giving it, there's just something different when it comes from someone else. It's not just you talking about it. Like I can sit here all day and be like, listen, the longer you have me in your business, the better it gets. Like the more context I have, the more things my brain is picking up on, those random conversations that I'm going to pull out 6 months later and you're going to be like, holy fuck.
Yes. Exactly.
I can do that.
Right.
But I can say that till I'm blue in the face.
Right.
And it's going to hit differently sometimes if, you know, a client says it. If they experience me doing it with someone.
Right.
And kind of that show versus tell sometimes.
Yes. And this is a way to show and tell if you want to do video, if you want to do, it's awesome. And then you get to use social media to kind of supplement it if you want to.
Yeah.
It is part of the reason why I love this medium and why my business is doing well is it's getting found in AI.
Yeah.
My podcast is coming up in AI. My podcast is coming up in Google searches. Yeah. So
because you were on the front end of the ADHD entrepreneur.
And I didn't really know that I was.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking, you know, I started the podcast 4 years ago. So before my diagnosis, and my whole diagnosis is captured.
Yes. So there's a lot of ADHD in your show notes. It's in your title. It's all over your Instagram.
Everywhere.
So you have a lot of SEO.
Yes. I have so much SEO.
Yes.
So
that's essentially what AI is pulling from.
Yes. Because I use late diagnosed ADHD women, late diagnosed female founders, late diagnosed ADHD female, anything that I know I would have searched for. I don't need necessarily SEO. I know my clients
you're not
what
even
they're looking for.
And I think what's interesting, and I think people, this is my office coming out, but what people I think miss about SEO is you can force it all day long. Yours came out because that's actually what you were talking about. That's actually who you are.
It's just organic,
Now that thing that was organic is working for you in a longer way.
Long term.
Without having to push ads or do all these things. And, you know, when things
I think because I always looked at my business as long game.
Yeah.
And I didn't ever subscribe to get rich quick, which, you know, definitely there are ways to make a lot of money really quickly. But a lot of the people you see as having overnight success had 10 years worth of failed businesses before the one struck. So just really pay attention.
Well, and I was actually talking about this today because, you know, the shall not be named thing that's kind of broke the internet. The thing is, what hurts my heart that we're going to see is people trying to replicate. And here's the thing. When something's an exception, you cannot replicate it.
What are you talking about specifically?
The really big launches that Jesse Jean has had.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. Well,
this is how much of the blinders I have on and don't give two shits about because I care about my business more.
Yes, and that's great. But I mean, when something goes viral, someone has a huge success, whoever it is, right?
Got it. Okay.
And I've seen this from the strategy side. I've seen it from the ops side. People will be like, just trying to replicate someone else's strategy.
Right.
And like we're talking about with everything else, that's not how that works.
No.
Because there is no replicating it. Like, if that was the way of doing it. Like,
that was so organic, you can't replicate it.
No. Something that was the exception or is the first of something, it can't be, you can't do it again. Even that person can't do it again.
Right. You can't recreate Airbnb. It's Airbnb.
No, like you just can't.
Right.
It's like, that's how it is.
Right.
And so I see it too. I want to do it sometimes. I'm like, oh, I could just do that or I could do that. The impulsive part of my brain's like, oh, that'd be fun. And then I have to be like, that'd be fun for a second. But then I get really bored. And
it's like, that would be fun logistically. I could really have fun with that. And then you go to launch it and you're like, I'm bored because the part that was fun for you is over.
And so that's why I'm like now at the point where I'm like, I am not going to spend time creating offers right now. I've done it.
Yeah.
I have pretty sales pages in my back end, you know?
Yep.
And right now I just need a call link. If someone wants to pay me, I have an invoice link. I can use Google Docs. Like, I don't need to do anything different.
I cannot wait for people to hear this episode because I want more clients of mine and future clients of mine, clients of yours to understand that you just need to talk to people.
Yes.
The internet,
which is sometimes
also
the thing you don't want to do.
Can make us so passive as if we don't have to work for our business, and it's not true.
Oh, I'm not mad if that dies. This whole idea, because it's, you know, and there's so much out there that it just gets amplified and the noise gets really loud and people pick up on it and it becomes a trend and blah, blah, blah. But I think I have always believed, and I can go back to my very early posts, but I have always believed you get to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yes.
And you can have success. It does not matter. There is, I've started to say it this way because I love Baskin Robbins, but there's 31 flavors of any fucking thing. Like,
Yes.
you can do whatever you want and any combo you want, and you can be successful. It doesn't have to,
Right.
as much as sometimes it seems nice, you
Yes.
don't have to have like a framework, a roadmap, a pretty sales page.
No, actually, having a sales page before you actually know what the offer is dumb.
It is.
How many anybody listening out there, how many sales pages have you created that you actually don't use anymore? For me, I can tell you, like, it's so many. So guess what? I stopped doing that. I start creating. So what do we need to truly get started? Yes, there is more to it, but literally to push play, you need a way to energetically receive, meaning a payment link. You need to understand how you want to help the other person and that you can do it. And calling.
Yes.
You know, the rest of it, like, I didn't even get a professional like website that I didn't do myself until
recently.
Like, yes.
I saw her post because she tagged you.
Oh, isn't it beautiful?
And I was like, I noticed she rebranded, not complete, but enough. And I was like, woohoo, what happened? Who did this?
My colors. I found my colors. My colors just came naturally. And then once they had been locked in for long enough where I knew, because I'd been change. And finally I'm like, no, I like this. Oh, no, this feels good. Nope, I'm going to keep this because it's fun enough to be subtle, or I can use the pop of yellow to make it loud. So I get to play with it. So I handed her the fonts. I handed her the colors. And I said I wanted it to be chaotic lux. Chaotic luxury.
Yes.
That's what I wanted.
That.
And and mirror balls and all that jazz. And she took it and made it me.
Yes.
So,
there is a difference when you do it professionally, but you did it for a long time by yourself and figured it out.
Correct. A lot of the big earning people that I know did not start off. They were catching up.
Yeah.
They were catching up because they knew they needed to talk to people and talk to people and talk to people and talk to people.
Yeah.
And have conversations.
And I get it. It is sometimes the thing you want to avoid the most. I'm not going to front. Like last year, I was like, you want me to do what? I have no capacity to even sometimes like shower. You want me to talk to people?
And that I get too.
Yeah. And you're going to go through seasons. It happens.
But if you want your business to start picking up, start having more conversations, you're going to see it happen.
People. Yeah, exactly. And for me, like my human design and everything, like I'm a responder. I need to be hearing and, talking with people. And that's what gets my brain going.
Same. Yeah.
So
yeah, mine's to respond also.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's how I am. And when I get frustrated is when I try to force it some other way. But to your point, we know how to make pretty sales pages, but a sales page is only as good as the offer it is selling. And you don't know how good that offer is until you have people go through it in some capacity. It can be a new offer, but in some form, you've most likely done it.
Yes.
You've proved you can help them with the result.
And then usually you assemble a couple of those things together to make them an offer.
Yes. Yes. Yep. And because like what I've worked with with clients, that have informed what I'm doing now, they were never in the same like offer container.
Right.
They don't need to be, Right. It's still my experience. Like you've talked about, I think that was in the thing I was in with you. You've talked about like our accumulated experience, how much
that's the unrepeatable genius I've been talking about. It's like you get to put it through whatever of those filters together combined that you want to. And we believe we have to fit into this one place, but a niche can be very different. A niche can be a type of human being. A niche can be it doesn't necessarily have to be, because you can do tech in so many different ways. What does that even mean? You know what I mean? So it's just it's finding that combo for you and being the most natural.
It doesn't have to be a niche. You can just be specific, and you don't have to niche your entire business. You can just niche that one offer.
Correct. You can change your messaging for one offer.
Crazy. Yes.
I know a mentor of mine who every offer she has, and she has a few, and she kind of goes through them each year, and her messaging in each one is just different. It's a different feel. It's a different look, but it's all her. right?
Yes.
So it gets to be those things. But I think that until we've been in business for several years or in some capacity, or we've had the knowledge of what we do and then we bring it into our own business and we take a little time. But with time, I think you start realizing that you're looking too narrow. And then you have the opposite problem. It goes too broad. Then you have to find that middle road. And what that middle road usually is working with your brain instead of against it. It's learn all the rules so you can break the ones you need to break.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Give me the roadmap, but don't give me the roadmap. I want the roadmap so I know what I don't want to do.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. I need to figure out.
We know it's a full body no. We don't always know it's a yes.
Yes.
Ooh.
The yes can take time.
That's interesting.
The yes can take, right? We know immediately. Our BS detectors, we know immediately.
Yes.
But
that's why I think also we're repelled by those big gurus.
Oh my God. I'm like,
because we know it's a machine and we know what they're going through in that machine. And we look at it and go, that's exhausting.
Yes.
That's what I
don't want that.
I'm tired, Karrie.
I'm like,
no, thank you.
That looks like a lot of work I don't want to do. I don't want to have a business that relies on me welcoming thousands of people on my list every month to sustain because that's not sustainable for me. I want to make an impact. I don't want to have to be in charge of that kind of list. I would rather be a part of communities and on stages that have that I can access and make the impact.
Correct.
I don't necessarily want to be the one operating it. Can I? Yes. Do I want to? No.
Yes.
And, I remember when I was on, I think at the end of that week, because it was like a 1 week thing, the thing I bought. It was like a 5 challenge kind of thing. And so like on the last week, last call, we could ask questions. And I remember you asking like, how long have you done something like this? I remember telling you like, oh, I guess I've done it longer than just my business. And it has taken until now for me to be like my 10 plus years in business and operations.
Wow.
It has taken me till now to be like,
even though it's a fact that's always been true.
Right.
My brain segmented it or not.
My brain segmented it so much. And my brain still likes to do that, like time periods or whatever. But I had to be like, oh, I've seen this before. And this has informed how I look at things. And this is actually the same kind of thing, even though they were different. And it took until now. And I remember it came out in my recent podcast, which was my first solo video one. And I was like, ugh, but I did it. But I remember it came out that I was like, I said something like, and this is not from just like around the internet. This is from my 10 plus years in business and operations management. I was like, who's that?
Well, but that means your self-trust is locked.
Yes.
And again, self-trust is in all kinds of areas. So just because it locks into your business doesn't mean it's going to be locked in perfectly everywhere else, but it will lock in your business sooner than everywhere else. I will tell you that.
And for me, it did kind of lock in a little bit more in my life. And then I started to see it more in my business and trust more of things in my business as I did more things outside of it.
Yes.
And stood up for myself or said things or realized this is just how I operate. I'm going to lean in and be cool with this and accept it. And that's how it started it was like a domino effect in different ways. And there is, like we're talking about, there's no shortcut to this self-trust.
No.
It's an ongoing thing. It's not like it's done, check.
No.
Good.
I have so much trust in myself in my business.
Yes.
Like so much. Like if I was to say on a scale of 1 to 100, self-trust in my business, I'd say 95.
Yeah.
I know what I can do and I know what I can't. That's the other thing that's great. I think it's like, we do feel like we can do anything.
Yes.
And because of that, we right. But again,
doesn't mean we have to.
Correct. We're here to get paid for the thing that comes most natural to us, even though that may be the thing our brain is telling us is the opposite.
It's too simple or it's too easy. So it can't be the thing that I make the money from. Like you said, like now that you've leaned into all this stuff, you feel more chill in your business.
Yes.
Right? And you've given yourself a little bit more flexibility that you probably needed all along. But I think it does take a little time. And, I think if we're talking 1 to 100, I'm probably in like the 80 range.
Yes.
Because I need a little bit more of the just a proof, and I think it's going to skyrocket.
Yes.
But I have the self-trust in my business in relation to, I know what the fuck I'm capable of, and I trust how resourceful I am, and kind of the magic of what my brain can do with what we're talking about. Like, I see the full picture, I see the small picture.
Yes.
Literally in the moment, I can, like, it's all happening and I see it and I can do it.
Yes.
And it feels like magic probably outside of that. And it does sometimes to me. I'm like, I don't know where that came from, but that fact from like 30 years ago,
it's
like,
so useful right now.
Right. Yes. And, but I don't try to quantify it. I don't try to like define it if I don't need to,
It's like we don't know who we are. We get a label and we're so happy that we have that label. We know who we are. And then we're like, okay, this is normal now. I don't need that label as much. Yeah. But I do need those words for when I'm saying, hey, my brain doesn't work that way. Here's why.
Yeah.
I need for myself to have language. So the self-trust gap gave language to something that I noticed that people were was happening. And when I realized it was the lack of self-trust and then it became the self-trust, that was kind of when I started realizing why the clients were having that big leap real quick.
Right.
And
that, like,
you've
that
had
you were
it.
seeing.
I can see it. Yeah. Like I can just see it. And from when I talked to you before to now, it's not even like one specific thing. It's like you said, see the whole and the nuance at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and I feel it. And I think, Emily a year ago wouldn't have started a podcast or applied to a summit. And now I'm like, does it still feel stretchy and uncomfortable sometimes? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also like, oh, well.
How are we ever going to expand our capacity of our nervous system if we don't do things that are outside of the comfort zone and the fear zone? Because after we get out of comfort, we have fear. We have to get out of that. Then it's learning, then growth.
Well, and to be fair, sometimes you don't have a comfort zone.
No.
And you just,
not at all.
You expand your capacity to experience it.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be like, I love doing video podcasts with just me. That is amazing. I would love if that happens. Right now, I'm like, can someone else just post it?
Yeah.
Because I just can't look at it, you know?
I have clients like that.
Yeah, but I'm going to do it. And I just think the bigger piece for me in the self-trust piece with especially content and showing up is being okay, like you said a couple times in different ways, but being okay being misunderstood.
Being okay being what?
Misunderstood.
Yes.
I don't have to explain. People who get it. People who don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my job.
Nope.
I posted something a little bit ago about like that bitch in your head.
I loved that post so much.
People who got it. I had someone comment, it's really important how you talk to yourself and like how you view things. And I was like, you're not my people. I don't need to justify. I give her benefit of the doubt, responded to one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know exactly what is happening.
Right.
I know exactly what is happening.
Right.
Sometimes I have to tap into the fight. I have to tap into that part of me that's like, fuck you, bitch. I'm doing it.
Yes.
Other times I'm like, I understand. There's
sometimes you're going to hug the little girl. Sometimes you're going to put her in the 5-point harness.
Because sometimes it's not the little girl. Sometimes it's the fucking teenager who's like,
the rebel.
We're not doing that. Yeah. And I have to tap into the fight. That's just how I have to do it.
Right.
And so she was like, whatever. And I was like, it's just seasons that I sometimes, it changes what I'm going through. And then she like gave another response that was so like, whatever. I didn't even bother responding because I was like, I don't need to justify. I don't need to explain it to you because there's a chance that one, you're doing this for engagement. Totally fair. And two, like, you're not my people.
Right.
Like, you get it. Like, you were like, yeah, I fucking love that post.
Yes.
You get it. Like, I'm following a creator now who has an audio course called Get Cunty. And I'm like, fucking love this.
Let me guess. I think I know whose account you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. I know.
Yes. I was like her account is called Lost Bitches Club.
Yes.
Like, fuck yes.
Yes.
One, she's British. I'm like, can we be best friends?
Yes.
But two, I was like, it's just like fuck for me. And
in our country is the only one that really gets all bent about it. So I love the word. I don't have a problem with it. I have clients sent me socks that say cunt on the
yes.
So good.
It's just like, fuck. It's the context. Correct. You know what I'm saying?
But people, again, nuance.
Yes.
discernment. We think we have a keyboard. We can just say whatever and people will and do. And I just don't care.
Well, and
anymore.
The feminist in me is like, oh, odd. You don't mind saying dick, but because it's the female reproductive, we're going to use it in the negative.
If menopause was happening to men, there would have been a cure that ends up on our doorstep in a brown paper bag.
If birth control was not the woman's responsibility.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing. But I just know, she's talked about too, like, she's like, purposely use that word. If you don't like it,
you're not my people.
You're not my people.
Correct.
And you're going to attract more of your people because you are being bold and honest and being yourself.
But I mean, if that's who you are and that's how you are in your day-to-day life, then why not? Again, that's why I have the thing with the F word, the fuck word, you know?
Yeah.